All right. Well, yeah, I had an internship this summer. Kind of just want to share that experience with you guys, as well as anything that some things that I've learned, because I've just gone through the process here. I was a freshman here at Husson, sat in the same classroom. I know a lot of you guys probably want to be back in the dorm, drooling on your pillow, but I'm just here to help you guys out a little bit. So I wish you guys could see this. This is me last summer. I was a lost little boy. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I know I needed an internship to graduate, like you guys. How many guys are business students here? Or like sports management? Okay. So a lot of you guys will be taking the same classes. I knew I needed an internship, so I was trying to think of what I could do. And I called my buddy Zach. Again, I wish you guys could see this. My buddy Zach. Pretty strange guy, but accept him for all that he is. And his dad was actually my boss last summer. And I had a great relationship with Zach, one of my best friends growing up. And I also had a great relationship with his dad because I grew up at his house. He had a pretty big house. And playing on a lot of the same sports teams. We were always there, hanging out in his basement, whatever. So I gave Mr. T a call. This is Mr. T. I wish you guys could see this, but you can't. It's actually a picture of Mr. T. And kind of appropriate just because he is a very stern guy, very hard-working guy, isn't afraid to lay down the law. A lot of times that we did spend at his house growing up, he would have us doing yard work and everything. So, but very hard-working, great guy. So called him up last summer, and he was fortunate enough to give me a job at his company. Small company in South Portland called Labeling Solutions. And what that was is there were two parts of the company. The first part, Labeling Solutions, we sold a bunch of labels, tags to different manufacturers and different stores who would then sell them again. We were a middleman. So we would buy them. We would buy our product from a manufacturer and then sell it again. So yeah, any labels at all, shipping labels, barcode labels. We'd also sell printers. They would print a shipping label, put it on their product, and then ship it out. So, and then the retail side of it was we sold stuff to retail stores that they would use but not sell. So this would be stuff like receipt paper, pricing guns, display racks, all that fun stuff. Working in a small company, everyone was just doing a little bit of everything to make all of it work. So that's one thing I learned. I wasn't doing the same thing every day. Coming in, being the new guy, I had to do filing. But other days, I would be downstairs helping with the shipping and receiving. And on some days, I would get to go out and sell, which pretty much was the highlight because I wasn't sitting at my desk all day. I was there in the summer. So the summer season, the company kind of just wanted to focus on, when we sold to retail stores, we would go to, little mom and pop shops down in Old Orchard Beach and York Beach. And we would go down there to these stores that were going to open up for, beach season pretty much. So, we would go into those little gift shops and try to sell them receipt paper and pricing guns and that sort of thing, things they would use for the summer. And so I started shadowing Tim, who was another salesman there. And he would go in there and give his pitch, and I'd kind of just stand next to him like a loser and just watch him do it and not say anything. And eventually I got to do it myself and, kind of give my own pitch. And, it was quite the has any of you guys cold called before? Just on the phone or anything? All right, well, if you ever do it, it may not be something you want to do. I know I didn't want to do it. Pretty much what you're doing is you're going in, you're trying to sell something to somebody. And we went door to door. So I was going into these different stores, and somehow I'm supposed to sell to this person who knows I'm a salesman, know I'm coming in, didn't call me. So right off the bat, they're probably thinking, oh, here comes a salesman. What does this kid want? So that was something that, cold calling isn't something that you're going to succeed at every time. You can't just go in there and get a sale every time. It's just not how it works. But companies still use it because although it's not successful every time, once in a while you get a sale, and that's the still way of getting sales. So I had to do it, and eventually I got better at it, so that was a good thing to do. So what I learned, value your relationships. So just knowing Mr. T and knowing Zach, because I knew them and I had a good relationship with them, I was able to get this job that really helped me in my career path. So one thing I just want to leave you guys with is, anyone you meet and anyone you come in contact with, stay humble, value the relationships you make, because you never know when an opportunity is going to rise from it. Get out of your comfort zone. Just like I talked about with cold calling, wasn't something I wanted to do, A lot of times you get shut down. A couple times I had people tell me to get the F out of their store. But you know what? You got to stay persistent. And, that's what I did, and I'm glad I did it. Leave on a good note. That's another thing. I know a lot of you guys have like summer jobs, and, some people, leave their job and they just quit without putting their 2 weeks in. It's important to leave on a good note, and, I highly recommend, if you get a job or you get an internship, to tell your boss what day you need to stop working the day you get in there. So you're not just leaving. This happened to me at Finish Line. I put in my 2 weeks, but manager for some reason thought I was going to work all year. It's like, no, I have school. I need to do that whole thing. So he wasn't very happy, but this summer, I left on a good note, and I'll be able to use that as a reference. So you always want to leave on a good note so you can use that as a reference. Put in work, like you hear it all the time. Hard work pays off. And the man I worked for this summer, Mr. T, was the hardest working person I know. He worked 60 hours a week, and there was a reason why he had money and he was so successful. So just one more thing. If you want something, you got to work hard for it. And just a quote that he told me on the second day I was there that kind of just stuck with me. And he just said, "There will always be somebody who is smarter, stronger, and more talented than you, but there is no one who can outwork you. It's the only one you can control."